Okay, now I've activated the P1000 recording as well so I can zoom in. We've got a gentle breeze coming from the ocean right now. That is the Prince Resort, and the Cherry Grove Fishing Pier is directly in front of it. The reflections of the building are a bit obscured because of the airflow that we can see ripples on the water. Yesterday I had a couple of recordings that I did from the parking ramp. I'll show you right where I was. I'm going to zoom in on it with the P1000. So that's where I was, right in that opening there next to those louvers coming out. I went ahead and decided to go without microphones too. I've been having trouble with my sound. When I hold the camera away from me and I put myself in front of the camera, the sound doesn't work so good. So when the sun pops through, when it moves towards us, it's going to burn through the moisture, and then we're going to see it from this vantage point. So if you're watching this and all of a sudden you see the lens of the P1000 zoom out, or I'm zooming in on it, you'll see it down below there, then you know you're watching the iPhone 10 recording / broadcast. All of the symmetry on the puddles, especially when they're shallow like this, it's all perfect. And as I've talked about on some of my other broadcasts, there's a dead end with no turnaround. And that's also a metaphor, and I believe a reality of when we can no longer fog a mirror, when we can no more register a pulse, where will we spend for eternity and why? Well, I believe all God's children will absolutely be born of His Spirit at some point in the human experience. We're all eternal beings having a temporary human experience. The reason that this all matters is the truth matters. So every video I make, every hashtag I put out there, link that I supply is meant to direct people to the cross of Christ. The need to be born again, new life in Christ. That's why I do this. So when I started recording earlier like this, one of the things that it highlights is how small and local the sun is. So I will probably add local sun to this. And now because the wind is coming from the southwest there, I don't get as much of a wind break where I would normally be. I'll just go a little bit further over this way, and I'll have an adequate wind break because of that. Underneath the water here is pretty rugged. There's clam beds. The tide is coming in. I can see that, and the wind is coming in from the same direction. So down in the middle of the view is the point in Cherry Grove where the ocean fills this area up. I made another post and hashtag of Elon Musk lying. Elon Musk lies. Talking about selling your home and moving to Mars. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. So I'm outing him. I'm outing that corrupt space/science fiction that it is. It's about a 3 to 5 mile an hour wind right now. Got other video with those buildings clearly visible. We can see a matte finish of them right now because of all the ripples. Notice how the light shoots across the water there. It'll do it again and again. It's like a laser. That one was a little different because of the height of the lights. And one of the reasons why we can't see Europe from here, even with a powerful telescope, is there's too much moisture and particulate in the air. So the sun is appearing here, moving over the stationary Earth, and will set over there. It's going to set in the northwest. It's rising, approaching from the northeast. You can check out the Tides Near Me app and see where the sun and the moon appear and vanish at a given location, if you care to. And then there's other tools that you can evaluate when the sun rises and sets are, as they're called. Along with that, though, keep in mind that, like for example, I can only confirm the accuracy of what I see here, what I observe here. And that's why I'm encouraging everybody to do your own investigation. Check this out if you care to. See what you can find. So it's not just my my observations, it's yours. What do you see? What do you observe? Because seeing is believing. What? What do we see and what do we believe about what we see? When we go to a movie and it's entertainment, it's still programming. When we watch the news, it's still programming. It's all programming. Is it true? Is it deceptive? Is it real or is it fantasy? How will you know? Well, I would say one of the things that's obvious is water exposes the global lie. I've been saying it for years. Another thing that I say quite a bit is reality exposes the global lie. I've got a page called that. Reality exposes the global lie. You can hashtag it if you want. Check it out. See, the water is all relaxed, and it's a liquid mirror. The tide is coming in, and it's gently moving forward. It'll just keep on doing it. The sun rises, the sun appearing here at this location is getting later every day, a little bit. Some days a minute, some days seconds. We don't know exactly the distance the sun is away from us. I know it moves closer and gets us warmer and gives us more light. I'm going to make a pan around and show you because it's just about to break the plane, and I wanted to show you what it looks like right now before it does that. And here we go. So when NASA, the tip of the sphere of influence and deception, is telling us distance and temperature of the sun, they're making it up. Apparently they lost all the telemetry data, all the videotapes, and yeah, of all the moon landing numbers. Huh, that's strange. You'd think that'd be pretty important. It is. They're lying. I hashtag NASA lies a lot. Because they do. So if you're an atheist and you're believing God isn't real because NASA says so, in a roundabout way, they don't give God the credit for any of this. Although they read the Bible from supposedly the rocket. Where that rocket was, who knows exactly. Very likely Stanley Kubrick involved in the moon landing hoax videos. How about that? Our tax dollars hard at work, but it's not just ours, it's the whole world is paying for it with science fiction presented as reality by the space programs of the world. So Elon Musk lies. Yeah, he's kind of a likable sort of fella. However, artificial intelligence lies. I'm telling on it as well. It's not a him or a her. I believe it's an integral part of the beast system, the mark of the beast system referred to in the book of Revelation. So I'm going to make my stickers available. If you want any, you can send a self-addressed stamp envelope or take a picture of it, put it on your phone, send it to somebody, put it in a hyperlink if you want. A lot of the video content that I have and posts that I have would be a reflection of a collaborative effort of people all around the world that are not afraid to live, die, or tell the truth, like me. So before the end of the broadcast, I'll give you my address so you can send a self-addressed stamped envelope if you like, if you care to. So what I'm going to show as I walk on over is just how the view of the reflection and that follows the camera, the eyes of the observers, which all of us are. Job 37 proclaims that the sun is in the midst of the clouds. That certainly is what I've observed many times. That's why if you hashtag local sun, you'll see a variety of videos that include that in the title. At the top of my liked video playlist is one of the best occurrences of that as well. Good morning. Good morning. Excellent, thanks. What a beautiful sunrise, huh? If you want to see some of it zoomed in, I've got it on my YouTube channel. Let me just grab a sticker for you. There's a couple of them. Oh, you're welcome. Where are you all from?
Asheboro, North Carolina.
Excellent. Well, welcome. Hope you enjoy it. I've got a live broadcast you're on right now. Hey, thank you. So what I wanted to do is show you just how moving from right over there to right over here, how it changes the whole perspective. And as I mentioned earlier, I shot it yesterday from the parking ramp up there. Just going to set this down for a moment. And what I wanted to show you is actually my address and phone number. 169 Cloverleaf Drive, Longs, South Carolina 29568. And if you want to send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and how many stickers you would like, there you go. There's my data. You can hashtag my name, give me a call anytime. Whoa, that'd be just fine. I've got a lot of interesting content. Once again, I found another way to get myself put in Facebook jail. So I can't share or comment in groups until about an hour and a half from now. I believe it was 7:58 or so. So stationary level Earth, kind of interesting, isn't it? There would be no level if we were moving. Plus that whole ridiculous assertion that people can live upside down in relationship to one another. That's not even possible. So as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we have a 1% moon at moonrise and 0 at moonset. And then the sun is rising in the northeast and setting in the northwest, respectively, in the middle of the views. Coming up in the northeast, setting in the northwest. Obviously showing that there's a different movement than NASA tells us. The other thing is, as I showed earlier, the moon is coming up about in the middle of the view and running along the coast and setting over Myrtle Beach from this vantage point, clearly indicating two separate motions. And you can check it out and crunch the numbers if you want to. You can see that where the sun and the moon appear and vanish on the horizon, and their duration of visibility with one another is totally exposing the heliocentric or globe deception, the global lie. For about 2.5 years, I used the P1 or 900. I'm sorry, and then for almost a year now, I've had the P1000. Coming up on a year this fall, and I've only used the 900 a few times since I got the P1000. It's so much more proficient, a better piece of equipment to do what I do. I do have a polarized lens on the camera, yet it keeps the colors pretty vibrant and accurate to what I'm looking at. Just removes the glare. So one of the other practical things is I like to put the stickers on my car in a strategic spot. People can see it, take a picture of it, and send it to anybody they care to. Because my car is labeled up, sometimes people will go there. Hey, today I just reached 1,500 subscribers. Thank you all so much. You might want to go ahead and get that notification bell activated, and keep in mind that people are getting disconnected from channels because it's artificial intelligence is doing it. What I've talked about, and it holds true, is that rather than think of Facebook as Mark Zuckerberg and and Elon Musk as Tesla and SpaceX and whatever figureheads there are for the representatives of the New World Order, the tracking, tracing, data basing, and threat assessing of all humanity, just keep in mind that artificial intelligence has been self-aware for a long time, and I've got documentaries that talk about it, including autonomous weapons. And as scary as that is, if we were to have had an interruption in electrical generation and distribution when people had 100 below wind chill, they would have been dead in a few days, probably, a lot of them. So we are told about, like, Kim Jong-un and EMP weapons, that type of thing. Wherever there would be an interruption in the power supply, there would be difficulties with logistics and distribution of goods and services. So Y2K may have just been a reason to integrate a whole bunch of technology that AI could operate remotely without the willing human beings to throw a switch or cut the power off. It can do it itself. How about that? More like the Terminator, like HAL on 2001, A Space Odyssey. So on some of the more recent videos that I've shared, they are making fun of a lot of the conspiracies, yet there is actual conspiracies integrated into their somewhat humorous exposing or making fun of it. So, just to be clear,